What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we have the preview of the UFC's on ESPN Cannonier versus Borralho. We're back at the Apex. Not gonna lie, this is a very underwhelming card. Nobody cares about the Ultimate Fighter, the Ultimate Fighter finale and shit. Nobody gives a flying fuck about that. The card is terrible. Like, you have an Angie Hill, Tabitha Ricci co-main event. Like, my god. But this card is all about the main event. It's a great main event. Like, I'll watch this card just to watch the main event. It's a very good main event with a lot on the line. I mean, Borralho looks like he's the real deal. And Cannonier is like the perfect gatekeeper. I don't know how. Well, we know how Imavov beat him. I don't remember my scorecard in that fight. I think I had it like even. Was it in round 4? I think I had it 2-1 Cannonier maybe. But Imavov was on his way to winning the 4th. So it could have been 2-2 going into the 5th. Cannonier, well, I don't want to get into the breakdown here. This is just the intro. So this is all about the main event. And it's Michael Morales fight week. He'll be facing Magny, but Morales is a minus 1,000. Probably by the time you're watching this, will probably be a 10-1 favorite, which is insane because Magny is very tricky. But yeah, I'll just stop it with a yap. And if you like the video, please leave a like. If you dislike the video, please leave a dislike. And I would love to know, who do you think is going to win this main event? Because I don't care about anything else other than this main event. So tell me down below in the comments, do you think Cannonier is going to pull out the win, or is this an easy win for the up-and-comer, look, probably future champion of this weak division? Subscribe if you are not subscribed. I would much appreciate it. And yeah, enjoy the intro. Starting off the video, we have the bets, because I know that's why you are watching this video, you degenerate fuck. This video only popped up on your algorithm because you're a degenerate. You're looking everywhere, and I mean everywhere. If you're on this side of YouTube, you're really digging deep to find a bet. So I have them here for you. I have a $600 ticket on Tabitha Ricci. And no, it's not because of what you are seeing on your screen right now. That's not why I have a bet on her. Although you probably cannot stop staring at it. The judges won't be able to as well, so they're going to give her the win. I'm not going to get into detail. If you want to hear what I have to say about the fight, the bet, there are timestamps in the description, so you can just click and see what I have to say about Tabitha Ricci and her beautiful game, because she is a very good fighter. So I have a $600 bet on her to win $545. And my second bet, I don't have two bets this week. I really wanted to go with Morales by KO. And the bet that I was so close to putting in was fucking. I wanted to put $25 on Victoria Leonardo to win 200, and sack Reese by submission. But I don't want to trust sack Reese just yet, especially not versus a guy like Medina, who is supposed to be this super tough guy with a granite chin. But my second bet, a 2-leg parlay, Caio Borralho, the main event guy, minus 240, and the Slava Claus. If you don't know who Slava Claus is Borshev money line versus James Llontop, minus 240. I love that parlay. I put up 700 to win 707. Barely plus money. I think these two are going to put on a clinic, and it's going to be a no sweat 2-leg parlay in the UFC for Saturday. So if you are looking for a no sweat free money type bet, just go ahead and lock in Caio Borralho plus Vyacheslav Borshev on Saturday, and you'll be a happy man. Again, if you want to hear what I have to say about this fight, more in depth, maybe some theories, timestamps are in the description. You can go ahead and just click on whatever fight you are interested in. If you don't want to watch the whole video, because you're probably looking to save time, because you're a degenerate and you'll be going through all of the fucking videos on YouTube that you can find on this fucking shit ass card. You fucking degenerate. Fuck. Starting off the card, we have Wong Kong, P.F. Chang's versus Victoria Leonardo. Goku himself. Did not know Goku was transgender. He'll be fighting and he fights in the UFC apparently, on the women's flyweight. But all jokes aside, I don't think anybody cares about this fight. You probably don't even know who these two women are, but as you can see, Wong Kong, it's a 10-1 favorite. She's minus 1,000. To me, that's laughable in every way, because this is a bottom of the barrel, lowest of the low WMMA fight. I mean, how can you have a 10-1 favorite at this level, period? Like, actually, I mean, she's a good striker. She hits hard, decent cardio, good hands, mixes in those kicks well. She likes to push the pace and brawl, and she can somewhat hold her ground. If this makes it to the ground, or if it turns into a grappling match, she's not a complete turtle. But if you did not know, the only reason this woman is in the UFC is because she beat Valentina in a kickboxing match way back when, and we know how talented Valentina is. So that's she made her career off of beating her. Now she's trying MMA. She does not have a lot of experience, and she's already 32 years old. So she started MMA at 30 years old. She's only 5-0. She's undefeated. She's been fighting cans. And to me, it's very alarming that she only has 2 years of experience. She's already 32. So we know what she is now. I don't think there's much room for improvement. And she's a solid... No, she's a good striker. She's not a very good striker. She's a good striker. She likes to brawl, get in the pocket and swing. But she has bad striking defense. there's no way I'm picking her to get the KO because Leonardo, Goku here. She's tough. I wanted to pick her so bad, because I think she has a chance. This line is way off. If this line was minus 500, I would not. I think I'd be more inclined to put Wong in parlays, but at minus 1,000, I would much rather put up $100 on Leonardo. But also, the other thing why I'm not picking her to win, I cannot bet on a grown-ass woman dressed in a Goku costume doing a Kamehameha. I'm sorry. I watch anime, like I enjoy some anime. So I'm not shaming her because of that, but come on, you're a grown-ass woman dressed and acting like a fucking fictional character. I cannot pick you because of that reason. Her fighting style, these two are kind of similar. Both push the pace, always in your face, have volume, cardio, and no striking defense. But, bro, just look at her losses. Like, come on. I know she has an ugly record. Not so ugly because this is women's MMA. I mean, she almost has the same record as Rose Namajunas. But, okay, now that I'm seeing this, I kind of like her here. She has losses to Erin Blanchfield, Manon Fiorot, Natalia Silva, Miranda Maverick twice. Yeah. No way Wong Kong is on the level of those girls. No fucking way. No way. You know what? I'm changing my pick. I'm going with the biggest underdog on the card right off the bat to spoil this Chinese women's Valentina Beater debut. The experience goes to Leonardo. Level of competition goes to Leonardo. And she beats... Both of these women beat Cans. But, Leonardo's fighting fucking Manon Fiorot, Natalia Silva, who's a favorite next card, versus Jessica Andrade. She's a 2-1 favorite over Jessica Andrade. So that girl is good. I think if she does not get caught with a head kick, because we've seen Leonardo, I think she's been dropped and like 5 times with a head kick, and then she gets finished. Only once she was like dropped dead with the head kick. So she's very susceptible to that. I like her to win here. I like her to win an ugly decision, grind fest against the fence, because I think that's the best. That's her best shot, I believe. She can out physical Kong Wong, although Kong Wong will. She's taller, but I don't think she will be bigger, taller and longer. But I don't think she'll be bigger. Leonardo's a pretty strong and big physical woman. I'm going with Goku here. I'm going with Goku by decision, probably a split decision. I know I've talked about 7 minutes about a fight. Nobody cares, so I'll just leave it at that. Leonardo by decision here. Next up, Josiane Nunes versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I'm not going to do it as much as I want to. I will show professionalism, composure, and just move on. Nunes, she started off 3-0 in the UFC. How? I don't think anybody can answer that question. She's coming off a loss to Chelsea fucking Chandler, for fuck's sake. She's 5 feet tall. Her first fights were at 145, dude. Like, that just shows you need to get rid of this division. Just close 135 and open up 145 again. None of these fat bitches or... I mean, honestly, I don't know how Josia Nunes was not able to make weight on her last fight. Am I tripping? Did she make weight? I don't know. I mean, she's super, like, she's 5 feet tall. She was fighting at 145, probably didn't even have to get up a single pound. But just get rid of this division, please. She does her best work on the clinch. She's a brawler. She puts the pressure on you. If she cannot maul you, because she mauls, girls that are like 6-7 inches taller than her. If she cannot do that here, she's toast. Because Cavalcanti, she is actually good. Like, she's not as bad as your typical... I think she has top 15 potential. I don't think she's your typical 135 girl. And she's big. But she's looking for her second win in as many tries in the promotion. I think this line tells you the whole story. This is the setup fight for her. And I think this line is right on the money. I'll still say it's playable. And I will for sure have money on her. I think this is a layup for her. This girl is big. Like, she's 5'9". So she'll probably is, like a foot taller than Nunes here. She's not fat like Chelsea Chandler. She will dominate Nunes, like, pretty easily here. I know Nunes is very... she's very odd, and her stature makes it hard for a serial skill fighter. But at some point, size makes enough of a difference, and we saw that with Chelsea Chandler. Cavalcanti is not as, like, just big as Chandler, as thick, because Chelsea Chandler is soft. Cavalcanti, she's an athlete with skill, so I don't see how Nunes... I think this is going to look pretty much very similar, at least to the Chandler fight, because I think Cavalcanti... I mean, this is Cavalcanti by whatever she wants, really. She either pieces her up from distance or wins an ugly battle in the clinch. She's just too big, and she has some skill. This is a layup for her. If she follows Chelsea Chandler's game plan, this is a free win. Free win. She's athletic. She's actually a good striker. She will be the much bigger woman. And she knows what she is doing. She has nice kicks. So, yeah, Giussiani, she has no skill. Cavalcanti has skill. And he's a bigger fighter. This is a layup. I don't understand this line. I think this should be minus 300. So I'll definitely have money on Cavalcanti here. Give me Cavalcanti by a 30-27 unanimous decision win. Next up, we have Reese versus Jose Medina. Medina is the guy that nobody seems to understand why Dana White signed him. Maybe he was just in a good mood. He lost badly in his Contender Series fight versus Magomed Gadzhimov. He got his ass kicked for 3 rounds. And now that we've seen what Gadzhimov like really is inside the octagon, he's pretty bad. So how bad is this guy really? He is tough. He's a tough motherfucker. But you never want to rely on that. But, I mean, if there are some tough guys, and he is one of them. He has a granite chin. This man can take punishment, okay? He won't quit. He won't stop moving forward. Throw some good volume with some pop. but he is slow. He's a turtle off his back, has bad takedown defense, no ability to get back up. The question here is, will he weather the storm versus a killer like Zach Reese? A guy has never seen the second round. With Medina, last time we saw this guy was a full-time veterinarian with a granite chin. I don't remember him being dropped, and he ate so many big shots. Terrible defense, like terrible takedown defense, terrible striking defense. He's just a punching bag out there. Then you have Zach Reese, 100% finishing rate in the first round for Mr. Reese. Will he keep his streak alive? I think that's the only question here. He has a very super tough opponent with a granite chin. I think this is the whole point of this fight. I think this is a great matchup, great matchmaking from the matchmakers. They want to test Zach Reese here, and this is the perfect opponent. Number one, is he good enough to finish a guy like Medina fast? Because that's what you need. That's what he probably needs to do. That's probably what the UFC wants him to do. Get a highlight KO. But they know this motherfucker is tough, and he won't go away easily. And number two, they don't believe he can get the KO fast in the first round, and they want to see him outside of the first round, face some adversity, get some cage time. Like, how good is his cardio? Will he fade? What's his game plan? Can he make adjustments? Is he just empty the tank in the first round and then I'm like completely death gassed? Maybe. I think you're crazy if you lay this number in this spot. I mean, if you like Zach Reese, if you think he's winning this fight like I do, just bet him to win on the first round on a straight bet. If you really think he's winning, I mean, putting him on a parlay at this number, almost minus 5-1 as a 5-1 favorite, I think that's insane. Because this guy is very raw, he still doesn't have any cage time. I mean, he has 8 professional MMA fights. He has less than 15 minutes of cage time. I think Jose Medina has more cage time on his previous fight than Zach Reese's whole fucking career. With Zach Reese, he's huge, has power, very aggro, has decent hands. He's good all around offensively, has that submission threat. He's a very good, very intriguing prospect, especially in this division. He throws some good combos, which, I mean, in this division, he can definitely go on a run. Nevertheless, I see potential for a fraud check here. Because Jose Medina, I don't think he is a full-time fighter. I think he's still a part-time fighter, so that's a concern. He's 33 years old. Now that he's got his contract, I don't think he takes a beating just for fun, for the lulz, like he did on the Contender Series fight. He already has that contract secured. He probably has 2 more fights, and I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the UFC keeps him around, because I think the UFC needs guys like him in every division, because he's a good test. Because if he fraud checks someone, it's not because the prospect doesn't have any skill. It's probably because they have bad cardio or make a stupid mistake. Because Medina is super tough and has a great gas tank. What happens if Zach Reese cannot get the sub or the KO fast? How good it really is his cardio? I think this is a great matchup. But I do believe Zach Reese can get the finish early, because I question Medina's motivation and a commitment, I guess, to the sport. I'm going with Reese by submission in the first round. I think this is probably like a club and sub, or he drops him with a straight right, and he finishes him with a ground and pound. I don't see him knocking, like putting him to sleep with a one shot. I don't think he has that power, and especially not I don't think he can put to sleep Medina with one shot here. So I'm going with a club and sub on the first round by Reese to continue his great run that he is in. But I think this could turn out to be pretty interesting for Mr. Reese if he does not get that early finish. Next up, we move to the lightweight division. Slava Claus versus Goku. Goku, with his second appearance on the card, will have a BC weekend. James Llontop versus Vyacheslav Borshev, aka the Slava Claus. Llontop, he's a welterweight fighting at lightweight. We know how that always ends. I think he's killing himself to make the weight. He's not a natural 155er. And will he even make weight at all? I think he misses weight again, probably. And that's the only reason I kind of want to pick him here, because we know what happens 99% of the time. If a fighter misses weight, they always seem to win, especially recently. He's a pressure striker. He looked bad on his debut. I don't know if he got fraud check, because I don't think anybody was high on him. But he was fighting Chris Padilla, a journeyman, on like 3 days, 2 days, 4 days notice. He took him down and submitted him very easily. Borshev's not going to do that. So we'll get to see his striking. He's a pressure striker, good power, good outcome. I think if he can make this fight ugly, he has a chance. Has a very good chance to win. But this man's wrestling is also just so bad. This is a very good fight. I think this is a very good fight that will predominantly be, the 15 minutes this go, because I think this is going to distance. It's going to take place on the feet. He's younger, taller, longer, but he's definitely not the faster guy here. Less experience, he's definitely not on the level as Slava Claus on the feet, unfortunately, for Goku. I think this is a very hard fight to pick. I guess there is some value on Llontop as an underdog if you're a betting man. That being said, I think he's fighting on the wrong weight class. I think he'll be slower, not very technical, won't land the cleaner shots. And Slava Claus has some power. I know he's chinny, but Slava Claus is a very good striker. I know he got his ass whooped in his previous fight versus Hooper, and I made bank on Hooper by finish that night. I made a shit ton of money with that play. I got a plus 200. I put like a $500 bet on that. But the Slava Claus striking is just so good. Like, he's so technical, beautiful footwork. But that's only his offense. He has terrible striking defense. I don't think he has good striking defense. He's hittable. Hooper looked great on the feet versus him, and I know he was probably worried about the takedowns, but Hooper cannot take the fight to the ground, so I don't know. Maybe that was bad game plan on his part, so that's I mean, that's another red flag for him, other than his chin. But his fight versus Sadikov shows you the level of striker this man possesses. I know he's chinny, bad takedown defense, bad striking defense, turtle off his back, although he can get back up. And Llontop's definitely not going to engage in the wrestling here because Borshev is probably the better wrestler. But Borshev, with all his durability issues, he's tough. He won't quit. And if his opponent just accepts a striking, kickboxing point match, that's a fight he will win 80% of the time, for sure. But if his opponent makes it ugly, I think that's when he struggles. Because this dude's boxing is great, clean, beautiful striking. Like, his striking is the thing of beauty. Like, he's so good. Kind of like Muslim Salikov, the Kung Fu King. It's Muslim Salikov, right? Yeah. With very good kicks, man, to all levels. His calf kicks are incredible. His wrestling is awful. And if the wind just starts blowing hard, he falls. But I'm going with Borshev here. I think the Slava Claus is much better. He has a 2-3-1 record in the UFC, and that's probably I think he's a 500 fighter, so a 3-3-1 record after this fight makes total sense to me. Llontop, I think he could be good at welterweight. Obviously, he'd be, probably a 500 fighter, but at lightweight, no way. I don't think he can beat anybody at this weight class, honestly. So I'm going with Slava Claus by decision. Because I think Llontop is tough enough and probably good enough to take a beating from Borshev for 3 rounds. So I'm going with the Slava Claus by decision here. Next up, the featured prelim fight between featherweights Denis Buzukja versus Francis Fire Marshall. New Jersey versus New York. I think whoever loses this fight is getting cut. That's why we have this fight. And it sucks for Marshall because this is a less than a week's notice for him. Fire, I think this is a very interesting fight. Because you got 2 very young prospects that had a lot of hype. They kind of been fraud checked in their careers. I would say Francis more so than Buzukja. Because Buzukja was not a heavy favorite every time he fought. I think Marshall is not that good as people thought he was. I think these 2 are very evenly matched up. With Buzukja, I know that's not his last name, but I'm going to say it anyways. He fought twice in the Contender Series. He lost the first time, where I don't know how in the hell he was a favorite versus Bagdasarian. He lost, obviously. Then he went to other promotions for over 2 years, and he's back on Dana White's Contender Series. He wins by decision and does not get signed again. He finally gets his chance at the UFC on short notice versus weird, awkward Sean Woodson. Drops a unanimous decision. He's currently 1-2 in the UFC. And that just shows you the level you need to be to fight in the UFC. He has a 12-4 record. 3 out of his 4 losses are in the Contender Series in the UFC. And Marcel's losses also, all of them come at the UFC level. He's 7-2. Those 2 losses are at the UFC. But Buzukja, he definitely got a break here, a lesser opponent on short notice. I think he actually has a very good chance here because he was 100% going to lose to Danny Silva. But Dennis, he's just a pressure, some power. I think this guy kind of fell in love with the KO, and he does not have KO power, so that's a concern. He works the body very good, but this guy is a terrible, horrible, awful wrestler. Honestly, I think both of these guys are. They're just MMA wrestlers. They don't have good fundamentals for wrestling. He's tough, very good, great gas tank. My problem with my concern here, and my personal problem with him, is he does not excel anywhere. I don't see great anywhere. He's not above average anywhere, and I just can't rely on fighters like that. It's very hard for me to like you and to pick you and to put I don't like putting money on guys like that. Duplessis. But this fight is 100% going the distance. A lot of hype when both of these guys got here. Both of them are still so young, 26 and 25. They're still super raw, not a lot of experience. How was Dennis Marcel? How was Francis Marcel a favorite and a big favorite versus William Gomez? And Bulgarian, man, come on. He got destroyed because he's a terrible wrestler. Both of these guys are still so young. And this should be the best version we've seen from both of these guys. Whoever loses is definitely. I think they're done. The UFC's done with them because this is Contender Series times. We have a lot of contracts being signed now. A lot of new fighters coming in, and it sucks for fighters like Buzukja and Marcel because it seems that every prospect just they want to speed run him, and a lot of guys need time to develop. They're not getting it, and it sucks for them because I'm convinced whoever loses this fight probably gets cut, and I think it's Marshall. I think it's Marshall. He's probably the more talented, but Buzukja is just tougher, and I think he went through fucking hell and to get to the UFC. He knows his career is on the line here. I'm going with Buzukja here. I don't like him. I think Marshall is more skilled, probably everywhere. But Marshall, he throws a lot of hooks from distance. I don't like that. I know he does not have like a short reach T-Rex arms, but he fights like that, and he loses his chin up in the air. I think this is going to be a super close fight, very close fight, probably a split decision, and I'm going with New York here. I'm going with New York. Give me Dennis Buzukja by split decision on a super close fight, entertaining fight nevertheless. Next up, we have our main card opener, Shahbazyan versus Gerald Meerschaert. It's crazy to me that Shahbazyan is still just 26 years old. He was supposed to be the next big thing years ago, it seems. He's just 6-4 in the UFC. This line is insane. 5 years without a back-to-back win for Shahbazyan. Just 2-4 in the last 4 years.
I know Gym 3 is not on the same level, nowhere near on the same level of his losses. I understand that. I mean, Meerschaert is not beating Hernandez. He's not beating fucking Jack Hermanson, Imavov. Like, come on. Those are like legit top 10 guys. Top 5. But for Shahbazyan here, I think he needs to finish or he is in trouble. Even if he wins and they try to build him back up, I don't see it happening. I think he will be one of the biggest what ifs in the history of the sport, and probably not even one of the biggest because nobody will remembers him. Nobody talks about him. Everybody just seems to have forgotten about him. I mean, I don't think anybody's talking about him anymore. He's an underachiever. I mean, he's so young. He's 26 years old. He's almost the same age as Michael Morales. That's crazy. And I know he has a chance to turn his career around. But he's an underachiever, and I think he will continue to underachieve. He has power, very dangerous, puts everything into his shots for a round because he has bad cardio. He's a bad wrestler. And Meerschaert, he's super dangerous. This is the type of fight this guy grinds out and fights a way to win, weathers the storm. If he does not get finished early, I think he has a great chance. He has a great chance. This line is way off. My only concern for him here is I don't think he can take too much damage anymore. He's 36 years old, has taken so much damage. I mean, he's made a career of being the nail and fighting a sub in the third round. I mean, this guy has, what is he? He's like 11-9 in the UFC. That's insane. With his skills, I mean, he's got 9 subs or 10 subs on his record. Great gilly, but just so much damage. Too many times, too many beatings being the nail until he gets the win. I think his chin is done. Great grappler, super crafty, very dangerous if this fight hits the ground. Especially if he gets dropped, because I think he'll get dropped at least once. If Shahbazyan drops him and goes for the kill, he could get sub going for the finish. Like, it wouldn't shock me if Meerschaert somehow locks in an armbar or like a stupid submission out of nowhere. That being said, I think he's too old now. I think Shahbazyan gets him out early. I'm going with Shahbazyan, the golden boy, by first round knockout. Next up, Michael Morales versus Neil Magny. Michael Morales, fight week. This guy's the real deal. He's a legit prospect, unlike Mike Malott. I know that Malott was winning, and he was on his way to winning that fight, but Morales is not making a mistake. He's super smart, does not have any holes on his game. This guy's a great striker with a great jab, very good kicks, long and lengthy. He's fast, can piece you up from range, can close the distance if he wants to. He can offensively wrestle. Good takedown defense. He's very smart. Comes with good game plans. He doesn't rush finishes. He doesn't make mistakes. He's not stupid. I think this is Morales by however he wants. He's going to beat the shit out of Magny for as long as it lasts, because I think he gets him out of here. With kicks, kind of like Ian Gary did, but Morales is a much better striker than Machado. All the damage will eventually catch him in round 3. Could probably even happen earlier. This line tells you he's winning this fight. Like, not even Shafkat was this big of a favorite. He's probably going to be a 10-1 by fight night. I mean, Michael Morales versus a veteran like Neil Magny is a -1,000 favorite. I mean, we saw Peyton Talbot be a minus 2,500 versus a nobody. Michael Morales is fighting a very good fighter. Obviously, he's not in his prime anymore, but they're telling you if this was like prime Magny, Morales would still be a minus 400, at least a minus 300, minus 400, minus 500, which is insane, but it makes sense. Like I'm not mad at this line at all. I think it makes total sense. I agree with the line. I don't think it's outrageous by any means. Because Magny, he's the ultimate veteran. I mean, I think we all get it now. He has 30 plus UFC fights, shit ton of experience, but this man is slowing down. He's 37 years old now. I mean, how long is he going to continue fighting? Like, look at his recent wins. Morales would be a minus 2,000 favorite against any of those guys. Probably not Mike Malott, but Malott was on his way to winning that fight too. So, I mean, I don't really rate that win as much as people think. Is it a fraud check? Of course. But his craftiness can only take him so far now that he's old. He's slow now. He's still very smart, and he won't quit. He won't fuck off. He's just one of those guys that very smart. His striking sucks, so when you get too close, he'll clinch you, and he's very good at it. I think my only question here is if he makes it to the end or not. Right now, the books believe he can. Because if you like the fight to go the distance, you would have to play chalk. If you're betting. But I don't see any area where Magny has an advantage here. Really, adding the age factor, the speed, the striking. He's just doing the company a favor here, really. There's no way he wins this fight. No way Neil Magny wins this fight. I don't think he can win a decision. Unless it's a grind physique is the clinch. Maybe that's why they put this in the apex, because they know Magny will probably try to pull that shit. I don't think Morales gets caught in that. So I don't see how Magny wins a decision just grinding against the clinch, not doing any damage. The second Morales breaks the clinch, he's going to piece him up. That's the round there. He's going to win that round easily. Neil Magny is not going to take him down. He's not going to submit him. And, I mean, he's not taking him down and laying the ground and pound he did on Mike Malott. Michael Morales is the real deal. This guy is legit. He's still so young, so he's still working on his game. He's still getting better and better and better. And Magny does not have finishing potential, really, unless Morales makes a mistake, and he's not going to do so. That guy is so good. Give me Morales by third round KO. Next up, we have the middleweight tough finale. I'm not going to waste anybody's time. I don't care about this fight. I don't watch the Ultimate Fighter series. I think it's stupid. This is a middleweight bout. I have no idea who these guys are. And honestly, I don't care. So I'm seeing here Ryan Loader is the underdog, plus 130-ish. And Robert Valentin from Switzerland, he's a minus 160, minus 150 favorite. I guess I'm going with Robert Valentin by knockout. Robert Valentin by knockout in that second round. Next up, our main event, and God, what an underwhelming main event it is. I think this is up there as one of the worst of the year. It's definitely up there with that fucking Silva the Andrade and Chapo John fight. That was terrible.
At least these two women are, I guess they're fighting for something, right? They're ranked. Tabitha, you know why you were watching, you know why you are watching that fight. But Apex Angie Hill is back. I guess that's the thing now. Everybody's talking about it. This new mythical fighter. She's pushing 40 now. Totally reinvented herself. Great turnaround to her career. And I know that's a great story. And trust me, believe me, I was so excited. I was so ready to put a big bet on her. But now I'm somehow sitting here with a $600 slip on Tabitha Ricci, which I'm still like not very convinced. I mean, I know she's winning. I know it's going to be a fucking sweat fest. It's going to be super razor close. But listen, like all this hype on Angie Hill, I really don't get it. I mean, she beat Lupi when she was about to get cut, and that's when this like late run started. But I think her magical run ends here. Despite her age, she's still fast. She's still a very good athlete, but she's tiny. Like she is small. I know she's taller and probably will have a couple inches of reach on Ricci, but she's like so slim. She's so small, dude. Like, and I know Tabitha looks small usually on her fights, but Angie Hill, she's so like skinny and old now. She looks like a fucking marathon runner. She does not have any muscle on her frame. She's so skinny. She's old now. She's not a very good wrestler, not a very good grappler. She just wants to fight from range, keep the distance, find behind that jab, weaving and bobbing and moving, circling around the cage. But as much as I want to go with Angie Hill here, and I know she could. She could win this fight 100%. That's why this is a pick'em line. But at the end of the day, she's just a 12-13 UFC fighter. She's below 500. She's a below 500 UFC fighter. This is her second stint in the UFC, and her recent wins that I can say that I'm impressed with that. It's probably the only one that I rate is Denise Gomez. Because I think that girl is like legit. And she was still very young when Angie beat her. She abused her on the ground. But look at her now. She worked on her game and beat a 10 times much more skilled, bigger girl wrestler in Eduardo Mora, who's a much better wrestler than Hill. If they fight again, Gomez beats the shit out of her. There's no doubt in my mind. And beating Lupi, I mean, I know Tabitha lost to her, but again, that was a close fight, split decision. But beating Lupi, I mean, we know how talented she is. Sky's the limit with her. We know on this channel, we've lost huge money on Lupi on her last fight versus Dern. But she's just so stupid. And Angie, she relies a lot on being a great athlete. And she won't be the better athlete here. She's used to being the better athlete on the cage, but she won't on Saturday. She's just too old now. I have to go with Baby Shark here. I know. I mean, I have a $600 ticket on Ricci. I'm 80% sure this is going to be a razor close split decision type fight, because I believe that's a more likely outcome out of everything that can happen. And I have a $600 Ricci ticket. That's when I'm a degenerate. Like, I want to feel that, like, all the adrenaline when Joe Martinez is announcing, Judge this has said 29-27 Angie Hill. Judge Terrorist has said 30-27 Ricci. And you're like, fuck, and you're like on the couch, you're dripping sweat, your ticket on hand. But my reasoning behind all this is I think Ricci's somewhat comparable on a similar spectrum as Lupi is. Like, Ricci's a freak athlete. Like, she's a freak athlete. I know she's kind of small, but I think she has a bigger frame than Hill. Very good wrestler, very good grappler. I know she can dominate Hill in the clinch, and she can definitely hold her own against her on the feet. But getting back to the Lupi thing is Tabitha Ricci then tends to not as often as Lupi, but she will do shit that will have you screaming at the screen. Like, I think she has questionable IQ. Not as bad as Lupi. That's why I have her winning this fight. But, and because my only, fear is that Ricci will just stand there and trade with Angie Hill, and she's probably going to lose a point fighting match if she decides to strike. But we saw that she's not as stupid as Lupi Godinez on her last fight, where I thought she lost. But she was getting pieced up on the feet versus Tisha Pennington, and she mauled her against the fence. I know. I was very surprised. I was on Ricci that night, but I was surprised that they gave her the fight. Now that, we probably know why. The judges like what they see. It's all about optics with Ricci. So that, yeah, I'm going with Ricci here. I think this is a split decision, or I think this is either a super close split decision or Ricci dominates the 3 rounds, like 30-27 across the boards, super easy. And you have to think, Ricci's a 5-2 in the UFC. Angie Hill could only dream of having a record like that. She has an ugly ass record, and with Tabitha, she's 5-2, but she very well could be. Well, I'm not gonna say she could be 6-1 because I thought she lost versus Pennington. So she's a 5-2 fighter. And her first loss was on her debut versus Manu Firo. Like, there's no shame in that. Up a weight class on your debut. I'm going with Tabitha Ricci here by decision. Next up, our main event. We made it. Finally, we made it to the only good and relevant fight. Probably the only fight that we are here for. Nobody cares about the Ultimate Fighter bullshit. It's all about Borralho versus Cannonier. What a great fight this is going to be. Although I think it's going to be a little bit boring. Just a little bit. I'm gonna start off with Cannonier. This line screams Borralho, and really Caio by however he wants. I know Cannonier hasn't lost back-to-back on this division and blah 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 blah. He was in 40 and he was not coming off a knee surgery. Okay, I think he's done. I'm not saying retired, but his contender days are over. I truly believe that. He's still a top 10 fighter. Do not get me wrong. He's still top 10. He's just a gatekeeper versus prospects like Borralho. We have some other guys fighting up. It wouldn't surprise me to see him fight Joe Pyfer, and I think he can beat Joe Pyfer. But Cannonier, man, he's good. Like, he's just Like, he's good. Like, I don't think he really excels anywhere other than his power. But he's old. Like, he's an old fighter. He's 40 years old. I know he does not look 40. But this is a horrible division at the end of the day, man. You wouldn't be able to get away with this at welterweight. At heavyweight and light heavyweight for sure. But you know what I think about those divisions. He was on his way to losing to Imavov. I don't care about the early stoppage. I don't think he was going to win a decision in that fight. I had him down. If he made it out that round, in my scorecards, it would have been 3-1 Imavov. So he was done. He was not going to knock him out. He was very low volume on that fight. You can tell his age now. When he's fighting inside the cage. Honestly, his only chance here is a KO. If he does not get the KO, it's a wraps. And Borralho has a blockhead. He's not knocking that guy out. And he's going to get eaten alive by Caio's wrestling. Borralho, the fighting nerds, he's the president of the fighting nerds. He's not going to lose their first main event. He's not going to lose his first main event. Don't forget, he called him out. Caio called him out. Caio called Cannonier out. He definitely sees a relative, simple, easy pathway to win. He likes this matchup. He specifically called for Cannonier. I think this is definitely Caio by whatever he wants, however he wants. He has very high IQ, great game plans, with a great corner, great team. I think he's better everywhere other than the power. I think his striking has gotten so much better. I know he probably looked better than he actually is because he was fighting Paul Craig. But his hands have gotten better. He's younger. He's faster. He's 10 times the wrestler that Cannonier is. Sick grappling. This is an easy fight with multiple paths to victory. And I know I can rely on Caio Borralho to take the path of least resistance. I know he's going to do that. He's going to look for the easiest way to get a win. And he's going to do it. Oh, but this is a huge step up in competition. I would agree. If this fight would have been 3 years ago. Don't forget, Cannonier has never seen anybody like this man before. This is a very tricky matchup. I think the line reflects that. I regret not betting Borralho on the opening line. It was minus 140. That's a joke. I would have put the house on Borralho at minus 150, minus 160. Cannonier has a very overrated takedown defense. Just look at all of his opponents throughout his career. And who was that guy that I was laughing? He took him down 9 times. And I know that means he's getting back up. And I know he has a good stand-up game. But Borralho is a great wrestler, man. He's going to control you. Who was the guy that took him down a shit ton of times? Was it David Branch? I think it was David Branch. Well, my point is, he has a 60 takedown defense rate against Imavov, Vittori, Sean Strickland, Adesanya, Derek Brunson. That fight only lasted 2 rounds. Kelvin Gastelum, Robert Whittaker, Jack Hermanson. I guess the closest comparison to Borralho would be Jack Hermanson. Right? But Caio Borralho is a great wrestler. Legit, his double leg takedown is unbelievable. He's fast, great entry, super smart. He's not going to make mistakes. And for Cannonier to win, Borralho will have to make mistakes. He's not going to. Okay? I think he wrestles. I think he wrestles and dominates. 50-45, 49-46. Okay, he's the president. He's the face of the fighting nerds. He's not going to fall flat on his face on the first main event they get. No way. No way. The fighting nerds are legit. I've been raving about them since since we saw them. They had like 3-4 fights in Brazil on 301. And I was like, okay, I'm betting on the fighting nerds moving forward. They're so smart, great game plans, and he is the guy there. He's the president. He's the face of the fighting nerds. He's going to win their first main event. He's not going to gag it up out there. He's not going to choke. Cannonier is old now. And honestly, I don't think he's that good. This is just a shit joke division. I mean, Imavov is the number 4 ranked fighter. That guy sucks. Like, he's bad. I know Duplessis sucks probably more, because Imavov is a better technical, more skilled fighter than Duplessis. But Duplessis is just a freak athlete. Like, I've already talked about that like a million times. But this is Caio Borralho by however he wants, whenever he wants, 7 days of the week, twice on Saturdays. They're going to keep this amazing streak they're on and prove they are here to win belts. And what's next for Borralho after he beats Cannonier? That's a great question. Like, that's honestly like I'm very intrigued by that. Who would you fight next? Like, we know Imavov is fighting Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen is probably going to win that. So maybe the winner of that fight goes up against Borralho. Easy still there. We know Sean Strickland's not going to fight anybody, and he's just going to... I fear that he's going to end up like Michael Chandler, just waiting for the rematch versus Duplessis. He'll eventually get the rematch when Duplessis is no longer the champion, just like Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor. That would be so funny, because I hate Sean Strickland. I think he's just a bitch. Like, I think he acts like he's like this super like conservative Republican type dude, and yeah, he's a bitch. Like, he's a bitch. I'll stand by it. He's a bitch. But yeah, I love Borralho here. I have him on a 2-leg parlay, $700 parlay. I want to put even more now, but the line is moving towards that, so I'm not going to be able to get a good price. I think he can even finish Cannonier, honestly, but I think he's just going to wrestle. He's not going to chase a finish. No way. No way he gasses himself out. So I'm going to have Cannonier. I have Borralho on a 2-leg parlay, $700 at pretty much even money. Parlayed with the Slava Claus money line. I think that's also super. This is going to be a no sweat bet. Like, honestly, I think this is Caio super easy. And yeah, that's the end of the breakdown. That's the end of the video. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you like the video, leave a like. If you think I'm stupid and I have terrible takes, dislike the video. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to drop a tier list for this. I'm definitely dropping the buy and sell. I think that's a must every week. The tier list for every fight, I'm not really sure. I think that's just going to fuck me up on the algorithm. It's not going to get any views. I doubt it. So I'll see you guys on the buy and sell segment of the week. Stay blessed.